Today we're going to be working on evaluating expressions using GEMS with exponents. GEMS is an acronym that is going to help us through evaluating how to go through an expression, and we'll see more of that in just a minute. Our key point today: an exponent represents the number of times the base is multiplied by itself. So here we have an example. The base is the number 4, and the exponent is the number 3. Now, when I think of base, I think of like a foundation or a base of a table, things like that. And we can see that this 4 kind of sits on the ground, right? This 3 is up more into the air. So that's how we can kind of remember the base versus the exponent. Now, the exponent tells us how many times we're going to multiply the base by itself. So the base number is 4, so that's the number we're going to multiply. And the exponent is 3, which is how many times we're going to multiply 4. So 4 times 4 times 4 is equal to 4 to the third power, or 4 cubed. We'll talk about that in just a moment as well, what the cubed means. We have some vocabulary that we want to go over to make sure we understand what we're going to be doing. Again, we see the vocabulary word base and the vocabulary word exponent. We have another example over here with a base of 5 and an exponent of 3. And we would say that this is 5 to the third power. So the base is an exponent expression. The base is the factor that is repeatedly multiplied. So again, that 5 is going to be multiplied. The exponent is the value that represents the amount of times you are multiplying the base or factor by itself. So if we see this 5 to the third power, we would see that we're going to multiply 5 times itself 3 times. That would be 5 times 5 times 5. Now we have the vocabulary word squared. When a number is to the second power, we say it is squared. So we have an example of 8 to the second power. Some people might also say that this is 8 squared, and that is what we're talking about when we look at that vocabulary word squared. Cubed. When a number is to the third power, we say it is cubed. So 8 cubed, or 8 to the third power. Now, we see 8s here being represented, but these could be any numbers. This could be 10 to the second power, 9 to the third power, 10 squared, 9 cubed. So any number can go in the base. As long as the exponent is still a 2, it is considered squared. Or if the exponent is a 3, it's considered cubed. Expanded form. When an expression with repeated multiplication is written without exponents. So this is 8 times 8 times 8. There is no exponent, this little number up above, because this is actually a longhand form of 8 to the third power, or 8 cubed. We know we're going to multiply 8, our base number, 3 times by itself. So 8 times 8 times 8 is the expanded form. Now we're going to do an example, and you're going to do a few of these on your own as well. But just so we get this idea solid in our mind, what is the base and what is the exponent? So if I look we have an example of 5 to the third power. Here I know that the base is the number that's sitting low on the line. So my base is a 5. That is the number that I'm going to be multiplying. My exponent is the number that's up a little bit higher and tells me how many times I'm going to multiply 5 by itself. So the exponent is 3. So this could be considered 5 to the third power, or what we want you to start saying is 5 cubed. So how might I write this in expanded form? Well, I know I have a number 5 here, and that's the number I'm going to multiply by itself however many times the exponent tells me to. And the exponent tells me to do it 3 times. So 5 times 5 times 5. Now for our answer. Our answer we come to by multiplying by 3 times. The way to do this is with the calculator. You are going to multiply 5 times 5. And when you multiply 5 times 5, some of you may know this by heart, you receive the number 25. Now we still have this 5 that we need to multiply. So now we're going to come up here and multiply that 25 times that last 5. And when we do that, we get the answer, let's change our color, 125. Again, I used my calculator for this to make sure that I was getting all of my math correct. And after we get past 2s and 3s, we often need to use our calculator to make sure that we are calculating the correct answer. So if you have an actual calculator, perhaps on your phone, perhaps sitting next to you, that would be a great tool to use. If you do not have a hard calculator next to you or on your phone, then you can also always use Google Calculator. Okay, it's a little bit more difficult because you have to go back and forth, but it's still accurate, so feel free to use that. There will be a few slides that you will be working on this first type of page, so you'll be working through other examples that look similar to this. Do your best and have confidence in yourself. You're going to do awesome.